Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of HardFoul Radio. This is the show that values time. I value mine. You should value yours. Let's get started. Excuse me. So, it is Tuesday, which means it's Team Tuesday, which means it is a chance to talk about my favorite team, the Denver Broncos. And listen, I could go over a bunch of things right now, including why, again, some of the stuff that I've already said. Why I believe Denver is one of the best teams in football is part of it is I don't even feel like Denver's played a fully complete best game yet. I don't think that Cowboys game was it, although it's probably the closest they've played. I think that Texans game was one of those, and no one has to believe me, and I don't care, but that was one of those games where after the injury to CJ Stroud, you just don't lose that game. And so 18-15, that's fine. I understand it's not the most overwhelmingly impressive score. They beat the Jets, wasn't overwhelmingly impressive. But 7-2 is 7-2. And the difference, I believe, between them and the Colts is what makes Denver great, I think, is super sustainable and doesn't have to do with their quarterback. Whereas the Colts, I do think Daniel Jones has to continue playing at a super high level for them to feel like they're a more believable playoff team. Whereas Denver, the offensive line, the defense, I think that stuff travels. And I think that regardless if Bo is having a great day, a good day, or a bad day, can keep this team afloat in the majority of games. But let me also say this about Sean Payton. And this is something that I don't think enough people realize about what Sean Payton has really done. Is Sean Payton came into the building day one and said, this is the new expectation. This is the new standard. When you get hired for a job, rules that you are told about on day one, you will probably follow the majority of your career or the time of your career at that job. Rules that you were told on day 100 or year 2, likelihood is you'll consider them. You will have them. There'll be suggestions, but it'll truly be 50-50 on if you follow them or not. That's because when you're first hired, you're excited to be there. You want to be a part of this job. You want to be a part of this organization. You want to be a part of this team. So if they tell you on day one, hey, we have meetings every morning at 7 a.m., don't be late. Chances are you won't be late if you actually care or have any kind of work ethic. If they tell you on year 2 or year 3 of this job, and let's say you haven't gotten a raise in a year or two, and they say, hey guys, new protocol, we're going to start having meetings every day at 7 a.m. You're going to roll your eyes and go, all right, yeah, I'll be there. 7:10, 7:15, But if you're told on day one, meeting at 7 a.m., you're going to be invested because you just got this job. You wanted it so badly. You're excited to be hired. And so that's why it's so tough for a lot of these coaches around the league. You can see who makes an imprint day one because those are the rules that continue to be followed versus if you start trying to change things year 2, year 3, year 4, and there's a guy, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, an offensive lineman who hasn't gotten an extension or a raise in the last couple of years, people, once they are used to what they're making, and I'm not saying this is good or bad, but once they are used to what they're making, they believe, okay, if you want more out of me, pay me more. I have already proven my worth at this level. Even if they're underperforming, you might have a defensive lineman who's getting paid $7-8 million a year, and he's only produced, a tackle or two a game. He's underperforming, but he's already feels like he's worth that contract. So Sean coming in day one and saying, hey, Russell Wilson, that's, you got all this parking spot and this office and all these other things. We're not doing that. I don't care who you are, star quarterback or not. We're not doing that. That's gone. Day one. It's over. Hey, offensive line, this is the standard of what I need for an offensive lineman. You're not going to do it. You're going to get out of here. Coaches, this is the standard I need for this. Even Sean Payton, who has said multiple times, one of his favorite lines of press conferences, we're either going to fix it or find somebody that can. And he has not wavered on that since day one. There's multiple coaches replaced. There's multiple players replaced. He's gotten in Bo Nix's face and yelled at him. He's gotten in Cortland Sutton's face and yelled at him. He's gotten in Garrett Ball's face and yelled at him. These are Bo, obviously the starting quarterback. Cortland, the longest tenured offensive player. Well, Cortland and Garrett Bowles, the two longest tenured offensive players. One on the line, one is a skill position. And he said, hey, look, guys, if you can't do it, he was struggling in linebacker last year. We're not going to do it. All right, we're going to bring in Dre Greenlaw. We're struggling at safety. We're going to bring in Brandon Jones. We're going to bring in Talanoa Hufanga. He is since day one. And that's why it's accepted. Because it's not like he changed in year 3 and said, hey, we're going to start kicking guys out. We're going to start doing this. Because then guys are kind of sighing at him and look and go, all right, look, man, I'm making $10 million a year. I already know I'm the man. I already know I'm great. You coming in here, you're trying to change a bunch of stuff. I ain't doing that. But day one, you want to be a part of the Denver Broncos, you want to be a part of the new winning culture, then yeah, the rules Sean instilled day one are still true to this day. And yes, like I said, this offensive line, first off, Denver does something, and this is where I think the biggest difference in them and Houston were, who I do think those are the two best defenses. I would love to include Cleveland. Unfortunately, Cleveland is so bad on offense that it's hard to include them. But what Denver does, and this is going to make them one of the hardest outs of anybody in the playoffs, is the best statistic the Denver Broncos have is the sack differential. To get to opposing quarterbacks in 9 games 40 times and to have only had your quarterback sacked 9 times, that's incredible. Because look at what Patrick Mahomes just went through. Look at Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowls when he's lost. It's pressure, pressure, pressure. And the Chiefs' offensive line, again, I wasn't sold on re-crowning the Chiefs. We'll see where they are in power rankings later today. I wasn't sold on crowning the Chiefs after beating the Commanders without Jaden Daniels and beating the Raiders, who are just the Raiders. But that offensive line is still not fixed. It's better than it was, but it's still not fixed. Now we'll see Simmons coming back. He obviously had the personal issue. Want to be considerate to that. We'll see if it's better. But you saw the Bills pass rush, who has not been good this year, give the Chiefs hell. What do you think Denver's pass rush is going to do when they play in 2 weeks? Coming off a mini bye because Denver plays the Raiders on Thursday, and they're going to play the Chiefs the following week. So coming off of a mini bye, the best pass rush in football, which is why, again, sorry, lost my thought there. Why I think they're better than Houston. Houston and Denver both play really super technical defense, but Houston is very much line up our guys. Hopefully we can win. Vance is throwing out a lot more exotic blitzes, throwing out different schemes, and Denver doesn't get a lot of turnovers. If there was one quote-unquote flaw of this defense and why I think it is held up is they don't get a lot of interceptions. Like Hufanga's dropped an interception the last 2 games. Riley has 1 interception on the season. Like they don't get – we picked off Dak twice, but there's not a lot of interceptions on this defense. This is – you got to try to get 70, 80 yards on us, and you can't do it. And the reason why it's 70, 80 yards versus – what other teams are doing, which is having to defend 60 yards because of the new kickoff rule, is because they get so many sacks. Because they're getting so many sacks, that is, instead of going, 60 yards to a field goal, it's like they go 20 yards, then go back 6 yards, and they go 10 yards, and go back 8 yards. Like 2 or 3, a sack or 2 a drive pushes teams out of field goal range. It kicks teams out of continuing to advance the ball. Like, having the kind of pass rush that Denver has is the best way to play defense, even with Surtain out. And Surtain is amazing, the defensive player of the year, the best corner in football. And when he comes back, the defense is only better. But this defense isn't playing with one arm tied behind its back all year. Dre Greenlaw didn't start the season. John Franklin Myers didn't start the season. When they actually have everybody there and everybody's available, and again, as you're playing Chris Abrams-Drain and you're playing Jahdae Barron, these guys are going to get more reps, which will be better for them long-term, and this pass rush is going to help conceal it. Franklin Myers, Benito, Cooper, Zach Allen. Like, you have, in between Zach Allen and Nick Benito, you have 2 first-team All-Pro rushers. You have Jonathan Cooper, who I think is a chance to be a Pro Bowler. You have John Franklin Myers, who's not going to be a Pro Bowler, but is truly hectic. I'll be sad when I don't think they'll be able to re-sign him long-term. But this team, this defense, the culture that Sean Payton has instilled, and here's the best thing, and everybody can take their shots now. What makes Sean, and this I just believe, Sean knows this team is going to be in the playoffs. Now, whatever record you want to say they finish at, again, I have them winning 13 games. We can argue about the final tally later. The way he's coaching Bo Nix right now, yes, Bo has a lot of overthrows. But he is trying to, I believe this wholeheartedly, he is trying to coach Bo into throwing deep now because he wants him to have this figured out and down but by the time the playoffs start. Because he knows he's going to need to get some quick scores. He knows he's going to need to get some big explosive plays. Yes, you can run the ball. Yes, you could throw short all day. But he knows if this offense is going to take the next step, it has to be with explosive plays. It just has to. So, also real quick transition to my other team that's currently in sports season. Pelicans, can we just move on to the next step? Can we please? I don't know why Willie Green is still employed. I liked the Willie Green hire when it happened. I'm not going to stay here very long because nobody wants to talk about the Pelicans, and I understand it. They've been awful. They're 0-6. Like, can we move on to the next phase? I don't think there's any reason that Willie Green should have started the season. I think you should have fired him and brought in Michael Malone. Yeah, man, it's tough. And there's just like franchise malpractice going on now where you trade away your 2 protected picks, which was an Indiana pick and then your own pick for Derek Queen, who's not even playing. And now those 2 picks currently, and this obviously can change, but would be the number 1 and number 2 overall draft picks in the NBA this upcoming year. It's weird. You signed Jordan Poole. He's playing some games. He's not playing others. Derek Queen, he's in the lineup. He's not in the lineup. Like, it's all bad right now, man. I still believe in the talent that this team has between Zion, Trey Murphy, Queen, Poole. Jeremiah Fears I like a lot. He's actually probably been the most impressive Pelican, even though he's just a rookie. Like, can we just move on to the next step of our lives? Please, asking for a friend. Oh, man. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.